I harvested honey recently, and after the extraction process, we cleaned up a fair amount, but there's still some in here, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to do a quick little video about how I process my wax and maybe make a candle later. So basically, I use a couple of old pots and I double boil it, and then I pour it into these little containers and I separate it, let it dry and harden, separate. That way I can trim the trash out and remill it. I do this several steps before I get a good block of nice clean wax. It usually will come out like this, and then once I'm ready to do something with it, either scrub it back onto frames, to waxed frame, or make candles. This is a little older, that's why it's colored, and it's probably mixed with other wax as well. And I'll do some here in just a few minutes. So this is capping that is cut off of the frames before I put it in the spinner. There's usually a lot more, but like I said, I've already done most of my cleaning. This is just a little bit of leftover. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to wash it out in the sink and let my sink strainer catch it all. I cleaned it first, of course, and then I will melt it down once I get this and the sieve that it comes through before it went in the bucket. So yeah, I'm just using the faucet to rinse the hose of the wax out, kind of opposite of the way it went in. Don't want to knock that out of the way. A lot of that extra that you saw in the bucket earlier, I just bring down into the pot that I'm going to melt in already. Like I said, I use the sink strainer to catch all that, and then I'll just So now I'm just simply going to put some water in this pot. This pot will go right in here. Well, I'm getting too much. Now I'll bring the one to the boil on the stove and melt the wax. Alright, so you can see as the water starts to boil, the wax will start to melt and some of the crap will stay on the bottom. I also have this other piece I'm going to add in there. This is the one I showed you earlier. See how it separates out in layers? The wax comes to the top and then the trash settles down on the bottom. When there's honey, it separates in a whole nother layer too, and you can salvage the honey that's in the wax. Because it's already been processed a little bit, there's not any honey left in here, but you kind of get the idea. So I'm going to separate that out, then put it in with that, and put it in another little thing to harden again. And you can see here I took an old steak knife and I just sawed off the bad stuff and left the wax, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it in here to melt with all of that and redo more and more. You'll do it several times. Normally in this little pot I would have all clean wax instead of melting down caps still, but you know, just for today, this is how I do it. Alright, I'm gonna make the candle now. I've cleaned up all the wax. I'm taking old candle wax and melting it all down with the beeswax that I've harvested and some from the past. And I'm going to use this old yogurt container for my mold. I taped the wick to the bottom, and then I rigged some popsicles and a clip to hold the wick straight. As I melt wax, I'll pour some in there a little at a time. If you try to pour it all at once, you'll get a hollow spot in the candle and it doesn't work out very well. So it takes a little bit of time. Alright, so that's full. Just gonna let it sit and cool all the way off, and tomorrow I'll peel it out. Alright, so the candle cooled overnight, and if you can see, there's a fair dip in the middle, whereas it dried, it grew and shrank. So I'm melting some scrap wax that I found around the house to top it off. It'd be much prettier if it was all beeswax, but my harvests haven't been all that great of late, and I don't have that much wax left over anymore. Okay, I'll let that harden up and I'll pull it out later. Alright, so the candle's hardened up. Already made a little cut in it. We're going to just kind of rip it out of here. Maybe. Or maybe I'll have to make some more cuts. There we go. This is why I use plastic stuff. There's stuff you can spray, like Pam or something in them, to make them come out of the molds easier. See here where I had it taped earlier? We'll dig that wick out of there and see what we got. Alright, so there you have it. It's burning. And we're all good to go. You know, not the prettiest candle I ever made, but it burns, so good enough. Thanks for watching.